Hey everyone, it's Tom with Fresh Vintage Garage. Today we're checking out another scan tool from our Temu video series. If you haven't seen the unboxing video, definitely check out the link in the description of this video watching right now for that. Long story short, we bought a whole bunch of scan tools for a very affordable price from Temu. You can also find these readily available on Amazon too, so there's a link for Amazon for this in the description of the video you're watching now. We're going to open this, and real quick, this video is sponsored by no one except Jay's wallet because he paid for this himself. So shout out to Jay for purchasing this. User's manual, and as you would expect in a box this size, there's not much other than the actual scan tool. I just wanted to pop this open and show you what it looks like. I mean, the build quality feels decent enough. Has Phillips screws in the back there. The buttons feel good, and this is a color screen. So this is supposed to do a few things, usual suspects, OBD2, live data graphing. It'll actually look like O2 sensor and battery voltage. So we're going to go outside and scan a car and see what all we can figure out this thing will actually do. Let's go do that right now. We are here in my 2005 Honda CR-V, and quick note, the OBD2 port is like down here, so I plugged it in. Cable's long enough, at least gets it up to here where I can use it and not have to stoop over. So there's the screen is decent enough. It's bright. I wish it would be a little brighter, but for what the price we paid, it's a great screen. The OBD2 is showing here. We have data streaming and data trouble code library. So really nice feature to have as far as, let me just go through here, punch your number in, and it actually will give you details on what the code means and what potentially could be wrong with the car or need repaired. Let's look at a few other things here. Setup, real simple. We were just in here, language, and then unit of measure. And there's a battery voltage. So let's go in here, 12.3. And if I were to start the car, you'd obviously see that jump up to like 14 volts or whatever. But let's actually go to the OBD2. Let's read some codes here. So it's saying it found a code, and then I didn't get the rest of it, sorry there. Okay, so let's read our data trouble code and see what it comes up as. So the catalyst system, so this is a super common code for an O2 sensor. And what else is in here? Okay, so that's the only thing coming up. And let's go to, if we wanted to clear our data trouble code, and there's our vehicle info, should show us, let's see, turn key on, and there's our VIN. Right there. California verification number. This is not a California vehicle if I remember correctly, but this is your number in case you need that. I believe they use it for emissions. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they use that for emissions over there. And let's see here, O2 sensor. Let's actually see what this does because it's saying I potentially have an O2 sensor issue. So let's test an O2 sensor and see what happens here. Let me start the car. There we go. So you can see it's still saying NA on here. I'm curious. Let me go down and see what it does here. Okay, so it's saying NA. I'm not actually sure what NA is. I'm going to spot check the manual. I'm guessing NA is not applicable, like there's nothing wrong. But if it was throwing some kind of code, let me just see if I can put my hand. Yeah, so just thinking maybe these lights do something. I put my hand under here, and all three of those lights are lit right now, so that's not super helpful, but let me back out of here and go back in one more time, and we'll see what it does. And it's still doing the same thing. So we'll check the manual at the end of the video here and just see if there's anything that says NA equals thumbs up or something like that. But let me turn the car off and forgive the beeping. Go back on here. And let's see what else is in here, because I believe we can graph live data. We'll just wait for this to load up. And let's find okay, so here's freezing data. What this is when your check engine light kicks on, it snapshots everything. It says, here's all your specs, here's all your data when that code was triggered. So you can kind of help diagnose this, that, and the other thing might be going on or causing like a sensor to go bad or something like that. And let's go down to our live data graphing. Now what I wanted to look at in here is obviously we're getting readings off the car, but I wanted to see if there was any way to graph, like actually show a graph on here. Let me just hit OK. So you can see it's flashing over here, so it's definitely communicating with the computer and updating, but I don't see an obvious way to graph. So let me just start the car. There we go. And let's go into the data again here. And so looking at this, it's interesting because I'm not seeing any information. So let me hit escape. Let me just go back in here one more time and see if it actually communicates with the car. And let me do this. Let me back out of here. I'll back all the way out just because. There we go. Let's go back in and see if it needs to communicate with the car again. And live data. Okay, so looking at this, I'm kind of wondering, you can see it's actually pulling some data. Like if you were to look at the ratio there, you can see the number is changing. So it is grabbing that information. I'm kind of curious why none of this other stuff is showing up. Okay, so TP ratio. And let me just go back to the beginning here. So if I hit the gas, let's see if any of these change here. Yeah, so they're changing a little bit, and you can see them flashing because they're communicating with the computer. So is this good as far as comprehensive data streaming? It's okay. I don't know if I would call it great, but for the price point too, you got to keep that in mind. So let's let me shut the car off here. And I'll go back. Forgive the beeping. Now I see RT curve. I'm curious to see what that is. Let's see here. So we have car speed, we have coolant temp, and engine RPM. So this is where we're actually going to get the graphing, it looks like. Okay, so let me start the car. Let's take a look and see what it does here. Let me hit the gas a little bit. And let me go back in here one more time. Now let me try the load value. I just want to see what happens with each one of these. And let me hit the gas here and see what happens. It's interesting that it's showing us the same, like if you look at that formation, that's the same exact one we saw there. So I'm starting to wonder how accurate this is. Let's see if it, yeah, there's our speed. So I'm not sure what to say about this. I would say if you're going to buy the VS317, don't buy it for its live graphing data capabilities, but let's see what else is in here. So we have evap. Let's see what's going on with the evap here. I'll just leave the car running so we can get this to read. And again, we're seeing NA, so not a whole lot of data there. I'll check the manual. We'll kind of have a quick chat at the end of the video about does any of this compute in the manual and actually say NA is good or something like that. But let's see what else is going on in here. Let me click that. So while the car's running, let's just jump back into our voltage. So there's our voltage. Alternator's happy. There we go. And I want to say that's about it, folks. I'm just going to do IM and see what comes up here. This drive cycle. Let's see what we have. Okay, so it's saying, although the check engine light's on, it's saying it's off because I started the car and it not noticing that it's actually triggered. So let me go back to since it's cleared. Okay, so it is on. Misfire monitor, everything's checking out. Don't really see any other issues. Okay. So let me turn the car off here. We're going to check the manual as well because these are not buttons. As you can see, if you look at those, they're not buttons. They're all three are lit up. So I'm not sure what each of those do, but we're going to see if any of those trigger during certain tests, and I just didn't notice them. But as we've been doing this, I was watching them, and all three of them are still lit. So we're going to grab the manual and just see if there's anything that's mentioned in here about the NA being kind of a thumbs up, and we'll be right back. So we have our V17 user manual here, and I'll just cut to the chase because I read through this just now, and the closest I can get you to what these three lights are. Green light supports the vehicle detection. Yellow light says it is red that the vehicle is faulty. Not sure what that means other than maybe a check engine light or something. Red light, the product is energized normally. So I guess having all three of those lights on at the same time is a good thing. But in here, there's nothing about NA showing in the data streams or the checks that we saw in the video, or anything about a thumbs up. Honestly, I don't think that this thing is reading correctly and interacting with the computer. It may just be my CRV, but my general feeling after using this scan tool and dozens of other scan tools you've seen on the channel is the software in this thing is not honestly at 100%. So I would say if you're looking for a code reader to literally keep in your glove box and just read your check engine light, it comes on while you're driving down the road or something, that's probably the number one thing with this. But after that, the data streaming, it works, but not really. The battery voltage works, and then it does have the data trouble code library in it. So you can use that if you do get a check engine light to pop on and get your OBD2 code. So with that, if you like classic cars, if you like scan tools, if you like keeping your cars certified fresh and fixing them up, if you like shop equipment, Fresh Vintage Garage is your channel. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.